We're in a season, in a festival of love and light. So I know that love sets us free to be who we truly are, love and light. And to come and live full out, to know that we are called to be that which has already set us free, and to be in this season of light. There's the Festival of Lights, known as Hanukkah, that is also going on. And what I notice to be the theme is that there is this moving ever deeper and deeper into the holy day season, the wholeness, the holy days of our lives. And even children have the gleam in their lives, in their eyes, and they have this gleam, and there's that joy and that refinement as we rededicate our light to being in that festival of light, with a sense of joy, with a sense of this time is our time to be who we truly are. I love this season for the reason that we tend to be even the most real that we are, and close as possible to our true godly nature. It is that essential nature, that essence, the divine essence that is always ever present. And it is the season of light and love. Our practice this month is silence. And so we can reach within and go within among the hustle and bustle of the season. We know we can turn within and be renewed in this light and in this love and be who we truly are. We can awaken our awareness. And as Eckhart Tolle, who is our book of the month, he talks about awakening our awareness. And we can do this through silence. We can do this through stillness. Eckhart Tolle, who's like the #1 author for personal growth, spiritual growth books, New York Times bestseller, just falls off the shelf no matter where I go and into my lap. And what's great about this book is at the very end he says, now it's time to stop reading and practice. It's okay to just stop reading and be. And much like this practice of silence throughout the holiday season, we can stop and take notice and be aware. So Eckhart Tolle talks about as we awaken this awareness. Awareness is another word for self-realization. The awareness stills the mind, the one mind that we are all attuned to. We know that our little mind with a little m, we can still that and increase our capacity to intuitively receive this divine guidance, the divine guidance of our essential nature. It opens up the heart's desire to serve as a beneficial presence on the planet. And our essential nature is known as this silent space, and it becomes even more fully realized as we rededicate ourselves to the love and the light that is within us. The Upanishads even points to which is one of the oldest sacred texts, even points to that stillness as a signpost, as a sign to bring us back to who we truly are, and says that there's only one divine mind, this dimension of that which is eternal, that which is formless, that which we all come from. And there is only one divine mind, and we're all a part of it. It is my intent, as we explore this together today, to awaken and be aware of who we truly are. Who are we? We are an eternal being whose essence is only good. And Dr. Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of the Science of Mind, which is a guide for spiritual living, he encourages us and says that there is a power that makes things directly out of itself by becoming the thing it makes. How powerful is that? What does that mean? It means that we exist because Spirit became ourselves. You exist because Spirit became you. This means that we are an intentional expression of the one, of that divine nature, of that essential being. And it means that we are one with this divine one. And that we need but just remember as we use this month of December to remember. And it is a December to remember, this season of light and love in our life. So just take that in. I exist because Spirit became me. Let's be fully associated with that. Let's be fully in that presence. It means that I am an intentional expression. And much like Erwin talked about being that fish in the water, we are that wave that is a part of the ocean. And we may not have all the qualities of the ocean, but we are an integral part. We're inseparable from that. We contain all of those qualities of the ocean. And much like sunlight, too, the rays of the sun, we are an extension of the Divine One. In Ephesians, everything is exposed by the light. So we have this season of light, and we are in this light of lights in our heart of hearts. And it says, all things being exposed by the light are made evident. It is Spirit expressing itself, being made real, and to trust that, and to know that it is shown in all of its true colors. For whatever shines of itself is light. It's who we truly are. It's like a canvas. We have many artists in our community, and it allows those signs that, like the Upanishads was saying, it points to us. It gives us a sign of where our stillness takes us. We can be vibrant with this life, and we can be still, and we can know that even in between our thoughts, there is that divine essence which truly is who we are, and it's painting. It's painting our life by the very existence of who we are. And sometimes I need to be convinced. Sometimes I need to rededicate myself. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and think, wow, I need a lot of evidence to the contrary of what's going on in the world. I need a life that is pointing that direction of that essence, the essential nature of who I truly am. It's a life's journey to recognize this truth. And I can look within and I can peel off those layers. I can know that there is that essential nature. And what if I started to peel that off a little bit more? I have a suspicion that maybe I might feel flawed. I might not feel that I'm enough. I might not be good. I might not be good enough. If I look even deeper and deeper, I was afraid that my suspicion might be true. And I suspect that I'm not the only one. Because our culture tends to say that. And I'm not surprised if I'm not the only one. I'm not surprised if I have that message. And I may have that message externally, I may have that message internally, and it may have come from well-intentioned adults. It may have come from our past. And as we experience the stillness and the silence and live even more in the now, we discover that there is that place, that eternal essence, that we are made out of itself. We are made out of that life. And what I know is that there is this place where it's just an incredible grace, that presence, that essence. And when I was at this one center being of service, there was a youth who came to youth group. And he came home to his mom, and his mom hadn't attended the center, but the youth came home, and this kid said, I'm wonderful. It's wonderful. I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful me. And that's my true essence. And she was asking him, well, what did you learn today? And he says, well, I'm made out of light. I'm made out of love. Yeah. And the mother called the minister and says, what are you teaching? Some of us may have grown up with a message that it's not okay, maybe whatever morals we have, to say how wonderful we are, or to realize at our core depth of who we truly are. And it's understandable that we may have grown up with this. But by hanging out here at the center, I have a sense of that relaxation and peace that's within, and how I can bring that to my daily life. And I know who I truly am. And it's beyond any thought. It's beyond any feeling. It's beyond any external circumstance or situation. And I can detach from what that is, that whatever that is, that feels like it's just a little bit off, and to come back to that center in the stillness and the silence, and to be fully present in that now as the Divine One. To get back in touch with that truth. And to get back in touch and encourage ourselves, in essence, to get back in touch with who we truly are. Now, the media can be very fear-based, and even from some experts, we may have received some messages. And messages like, well, that's just how it's going to be. Or, that's it. That's all. That's all there is. That's it. Those are some messages that are external messages. And I came across an article in the New York Times. And it's about someone who knew who he truly was. The article was called "The Island Where People Forget to Die." And it's by an author named Dan Buettner. And it's about a man from Greece who came to the States and when he was about 60 years old. And he had gone to an expert, and they told him that he had lung cancer and he had about 9 months to live. His name was Stamides Moriarty's, and this was in about 1976 where he was diagnosed. And he chose to return to his homeland of Greece because he was going to be buried with his ancestors. And he and his wife moved in with their parents, and he was just ready to give it all up. Many of us have relatives who may have received some similar information, right? So we can identify with this. And he and his wife moved back, and where they moved back there was about 2 acres, and it had this steep hill of this whitewashed buildings that we see in the postcards, and many of us have been there, and beautiful vineyards. And what he started to do was to go outside in that radiant light of the sunshine. He hiked up the hill to a tiny Greek Orthodox church, and he wanted to renew his faith. And what he started to do was to become emboldened, and he cleaned up the vineyard. And then he began to remodel his house. And then he began to reconnect with his childhood friends and to have that sense of connection and belonging and to be in his natural element as his essential nature. He began to realize and renew his faith. And in the ensuing months, something happened. He began to feel really ambitious. He enjoyed the sunshine. He enjoyed the ocean air. And the years passed, several years. In fact, about a quarter of a century later, he hopped on a flight back to the Americas. He went to go see the doctors that had given him this diagnosis. And they were all dead. He woke up when he felt like it, when he was on the island of Greece. I just want to pause there for just a minute. He woke up whenever he felt like it. He didn't have to have an alarm clock. He became part of his natural rhythm. So when he went back, he realized that he was this eternal expression of the divine. He took long walks. I think we like that fact that he went back to tell the people how well he was doing and they weren't there, because it touches something that's within us. That's something that knows who we truly are. So to be touched by that essence and to know that there's triumph over whatever that circumstance is, that situation that's in our life. We can be spiritually discerning about those messages that we receive, whether they're external messages or internal messages. That stillness that we come back to, that lifestyle that we craft for ourselves, that we design that lifestyle, where we become one and realize our essential nature. We realize that we're in the eternal essence, that eternal presence of the divine life. So there's something to notice here. There's something to notice that sometimes when we go to the stillness and the silence in our practice, we notice that there's these sensations that our body gives to us. We notice that there might be a fountain noise. We notice that there might be some internal noise that's just wanting to adjust, just a little bit. And sometimes it's when we're physically uncomfortable that we come back into that comfort of the divine. And we look to it for that divine essence and guidance and perceive that and notice that that's all there it is. I may have a body, but there is something more to me than that. And it's much like Louise Hay says, that about thoughts and feelings and emotions, that it's only a thought and that thought can be changed. And I knew about Louise Hay before I even saw the bumper sticker that says, "Don't believe everything you think." So I come back into that experience of being who I truly am. No matter if I'm angry, no matter if I'm sad, no matter if I'm depressed, no matter what, there is something that is witnessing those sensations of those thoughts, of those feelings, of those emotions, of whatever action I am being in. And there's something internal and eternal. There's something that made itself into myself. There's something that's beyond those sensations, that we can go into that relaxation and peacefulness. And we can be that eternal expression of divine love from the internal to the external. And we're in this season of light, which is our essential nature. And recently I experienced Bodhi Day, it occurred on December 8th, which it represents the day that the Buddha received enlightenment. And it symbolizes an awakening of our own Buddha nature. And we can be dancing in that pure enlightenment. We can be dancing as our essential nature. And as we celebrate this awakening, we can celebrate that light and love of who we truly are. It's also a season of the Festival of Lights. It's a feast of dedication, of rededicating ourselves to that which is the wholeness and the holiness in these holy days. And the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah begins this Tuesday, and it's the 16th through the 24th. And it too is this rededication and devotion of the holy temple that was in Jerusalem. And today we can rededicate our life in that holiness and wholeness. And it's observed by the kindling of the lights of a unique, the unique menorah, which there's one light in the middle, and then there's all the lights that they progress. And there's 8 branches that are then distinct in our lives, and each light is then, it has a distinct location, and it has a distinct celebration for us in our life in these world traditions. And so it has this light available that people can use it for practical use, and also for meditating and the Festival of Lights on that light that is there and that spiritual nature, that divine essence. So it's a time of the lighting of candles, and it's a rededication. It symbolizes that, knowing that there is that salutation or that greeting, that season's greeting that we have throughout this season and moving into the new year. And so we consecrate our body temples and notice that there is that life of spirit, being spirit as us. We are the thing itself. We have that essential nature. And as you know, Jesus the Christ was Hebrew or Jewish, and he celebrated the great spiritual traditions. And in the science of mind, the philosophy, it's a way of life, it's a faith, we see Jesus the Christ as a way shower, as a master teacher. And we can embody these teachings and accept that in the fullness of our own heart and express that in our life. So thus, Judaism, it's a root of spirituality. It's a genesis of Christianity. And we discover another aspect of the richness of these spiritual teachings in our lives. So we can draw upon that celebration. We can draw upon even the shortest day of the year, which is the winter solstice, and to know that we're connected with the cosmos, we're connected with the greater universe. And that sometimes the time is darkest before the light. And our days after a week from today will be getting brighter and lighter. Yay! Yay! From the front row. Yay! I'm owning it. Who I truly am. I'm owning it. And when I grew up, I had did I grow up? Still a work in progress. As this Advent calendar, it was the counting down of the days for Christmas. And it hung above the fireplace, and there would be a wonderful surprise, a treasure, a gem, that I would then, sometimes it would be a little love note that I would then go hunt for that treasure. I would find it. And, now sometimes I just go to Trader Joe's and get the chocolate Advent calendar because that too is a treasure and it's nourishing. So we have this place to celebrate that light. Kwanzaa, too, is also going to be, it's a week-long celebration. And there's certain qualities, spiritual qualities, that sound much like spiritual living. This celebration honors African American culture, and it's observed from December 26th to January 1st. And it culminates with a feast and gift giving. And it has 7 core principles. Unity. Does that sound like spiritual living? Unity in the oneness. Self-determination. We have that reliance on our thoughts that we can, in fact, change our thinking and empower our life. Transform. We have a collective consciousness. We have work. We have a responsibility and accountability for our lives. We have a cooperation in whatever the economics of our lives, that balance, that generosity of the universe that we bring to fruition in the generosity. We have purpose. We have creativity. And most of all, we have faith. Faith in the true essence, the essential nature of who we truly are. Faith that we are love. Faith that we are light. So I invite us to be whole and holy and at one in these holy days, and to rededicate us and to join in essence, get your God on. There's plenty of opportunities. Yeah, besides the ugly sweater day, we have our get your God on. We have lots of ugly, cute, ugly sweaters today. Yeah, very gaudy. Thank you. Very gaudy. Oh, everybody, ready? Ooh. Ah. That says something we're going to have some meditation classes coming up where you can do the ooh and the ah. In addition to the presence at the holidays, being in the present moment with those presents, we can do the ooh and the ah at all times and every day of our life. There is peace. There is joy, there is aliveness, there is serenity, there is enthusiasm, there is happiness in the awe, in the wonder, in that which we are called to be the true essence of who we truly are. And Eckhart Tolle has one more thought for us. Besides, the best thing is to stop reading and start being. Just start being that stillness and bring that presence in the holy, happy days of our lives, in the holly, happy days, in that wholeness in the holy days of our lives. Eckhart Tolle says, when you know who you truly are, who am I truly? When you know who you truly are, there is an abiding aliveness and a sense of peace. You could call it joy, because that's what joy is, vibrantly alive peace. You could call it that. It's just this vibrant nature. It is the joy of knowing yourself as the very life essence, much like Dr. Ernest Holmes says. It is our life essence, that which is eternal and ever present and ever near. It is that which is life which takes on form. I am made out of that, not gaudy stuff, but I'm made out of that God stuff that gives me that ooh and that awe, and that is truly the joy of being. It is truly the celebration in the season of love and light. And I invite us to own that and know that we are being who we truly are. So let's just take a moment and rededicate ourselves in this very moment, trusting and knowing that, yes, it is this festival of lights. It is this season of awakening. It is the awareness, this self-awareness that is coming from the sense of the divine wonder and awe and being in this place of the oneness and wholeness and holiness. It is the infinite presence and the power which shines in, through, as, and all around us, and it is everywhere present. Being in this present, knowing that there is the gift of the season and there is this beautiful feast which is filled with nourishment, and knowing that there is the satisfaction and fulfillment of being fed and being who we truly are, of this essential nature. I know that I am connected with this nature and unified at all times in the unity, in the oneness, in that which is so good and true and beautiful and amazing. So being in this amazing presence, I know that there is deep love, unbounded joy, and perfect peace. I am so grateful and filled with joy, the joy of being who I truly am. And I invite us to just continue to know this and declare and rededicate our lives in this beautiful season of light and of love. And I release this word in fullness of gratitude, knowing it is done and all is well. And so be it, and so I celebrate, and so it is. Please join in a few moments of stillness.